Question 1. Read the following passage. California Vehicle Code Section 21703 states that no person shall drive a vehicle in such a manner as to intentionally interfere with the movement of another vehicle. This regulation aims to prevent dangerous road behaviors like blocking lanes or impeding traffic flow, which can lead to collisions and traffic congestion. Adherence to this section is crucial for maintaining safe and efficient transportation on California's roadways. According to the passage, what is one of the primary goals of Vehicle Code Section 21703? A. To regulate commercial vehicle weights. B. To prevent intentional interference with traffic flow. C. To establish maximum speed limits on highways. D. To dictate vehicle design specifications. Answer: B. To prevent intentional interference with traffic flow. The passage directly states that Vehicle Code Section 21703 aims to prevent dangerous road behaviors like blocking lanes or impeding traffic flow, which clearly falls under the concept of intentional interference. This core concept of regulating driving behavior to maintain safety and efficiency is central to traffic laws. Understanding the main purpose or intent of a regulation, as described in the text, is a key skill in reading comprehension. Always look for direct statements or strong implications within the passage itself to find the correct answer. Question 2. Which of the following words is spelled incorrectly? A. Occasionally. B. Separate. C. Accommodate. D. Definitely. Answer: C. Accommodate. The word accommodate is spelled incorrectly. It should have 2 C's and 2 M's. Correct spelling is fundamental for clear and professional communication in law enforcement, as reports and official documents must be precise. Pay close attention to common words that are often misspelled, especially those with double letters, as they are frequently tested. A good practice is to visualize the correct spelling or break down longer words into smaller, more manageable parts. Question 3. In the context of a police report, what does the word subsequent most closely mean? A. Prior. B. Concurrent. C. Following. D. Leading. Answer: C. Following. The word subsequent means coming after something in time or order. For example, if an officer observes a traffic violation and a subsequent event is a vehicle pursuit, it means the pursuit happened after the initial observation. This vocabulary skill is vital because accurate and precise language is essential in police reports and testimony to clearly convey events and their sequence. Always consider the context of the word within the sentence or scenario to determine its most appropriate meaning. Question 4. All patrol vehicles in the fleet are equipped with GPS. If a vehicle is a patrol vehicle, what can be concluded about its equipment? A. It might have GPS, but not always. B. It is definitely equipped with GPS. C. It is likely to have GPS, but other vehicles also do. D. Its GPS status is unknown. Answer: B. It is definitely equipped with GPS. This question tests deductive reasoning, which involves drawing a specific conclusion from general premises. The premise states, all patrol vehicles in the fleet are equipped with GPS. Therefore, if a vehicle is identified as a patrol vehicle, it must logically follow that it possesses GPS. When faced with absolute statements like all or every, you can confidently deduce that the conclusion will also be absolute. Question 5. The recent increase in vehicle burglaries in the downtown area suggests that criminals are targeting parked cars in less visible locations, often after dark. Patrols have been increased in these areas, and residents are advised to secure their vehicles and remove valuables. Which of the following inferences can be drawn from the passage? A. Downtown vehicle burglaries only occur after midnight. B. Increased patrols have completely stopped the burglaries. C. Criminals prefer targeting vehicles with unlocked doors. D. Visibility of parked cars might be a factor in their vulnerability. Answer: D. Visibility of parked cars might be a factor in their vulnerability. The passage states that criminals target parked cars in less visible locations, often after dark, which strongly implies that visibility is a factor in their decision-making for these burglaries. This is an example of inferential reasoning, where you must draw a logical conclusion based on the information provided, even if it's not explicitly stated. Look for clues and implications within the text to support your inference, rather than making assumptions not supported by the evidence. Question 6. Which sentence is grammatically correct and clearly states the intended meaning? A. The officer, who had observed the suspect, made an arrest. B. The officer made an arrest, who had observed the suspect. C. An arrest was made by the officer, who had observed the suspect. D. Having observed the suspect, an arrest was made by the officer. Answer: A. The officer, who had observed the suspect, made an arrest. This sentence correctly uses the pronoun who to refer directly to the officer, placing the modifying clause, who had observed the suspect, immediately after the noun it describes. Grammatical clarity is crucial in law enforcement communication to prevent misunderstandings and ensure accurate reporting. Avoid misplaced modifiers or passive voice that can obscure who performed an action, always striving for direct and unambiguous language. Question 7. Identify the pattern and determine the next number in the sequence, 3, 7, 13, 21, 31, __. A. 41. B. 43. C. 45. D. 47. Answer: B. 43. This sequence demonstrates inductive reasoning, where you identify a pattern from specific examples and apply it to predict the next element. The differences between consecutive numbers are increasing by 2 each time, +4, 3 to 7, +6, 7 to 13, +8, 13 to 21, +10, 21 to 31. Therefore, the next difference should be +12, making the next number 31 plus 12 is equal to 43. Recognizing numerical relationships and incremental changes is a key skill for solving these types of problems. Question 8. What is the antonym of explicit? A. Clear. B. Obscure. C. Direct. D. Detailed. Answer: B. Obscure. The word explicit means stated clearly and in detail, leaving no room for confusion or doubt. Therefore, its antonym, or opposite, is obscure, which means not clearly expressed or easily understood. Understanding the nuances of vocabulary, including synonyms and antonyms, improves your ability to comprehend and articulate complex information accurately, which is essential for precise legal and operational language. Question 9. Read the following policy excerpt. All personnel are required to log their duty hours accurately in the official timekeeping system by the end of each shift. Any discrepancies must be reported to a supervisor within 24 hours for review and correction. Failure to comply with these procedures may result in disciplinary action. What is the main purpose of this policy excerpt? A. To announce a new timekeeping system. B. To detail the proper procedure for reporting duty hours and discrepancies. C. To explain the disciplinary actions for non-compliance. D. To encourage personnel to work overtime. Answer: B. To detail the proper procedure for reporting duty hours and discrepancies. The excerpt specifically outlines how personnel are required to log hours and what to do if discrepancies occur, emphasizing accuracy and reporting. The main purpose revolves around setting clear procedural guidelines for timekeeping, making this a reading comprehension task focused on identifying the core instruction. Always look for the overarching theme or directive presented in a policy or set of instructions. Question 10. A police officer observes a vehicle driving erratically, swerving within its lane, and braking suddenly for no apparent reason. Based on these observations, what is the most reasonable initial action for the officer to take? A. Immediately initiate a high-speed pursuit. B. Disregard the vehicle and continue patrol. C. Conduct a traffic stop to investigate for possible impairment or other violations. D. Follow the vehicle for an extended period to gather more evidence without intervening. Answer: C. Conduct a traffic stop to investigate for possible impairment or other violations. The officer's observations of erratic driving behavior strongly indicate a potential safety hazard or violation, such as driving under the influence or distracted driving. Conducting a traffic stop is the most appropriate and responsible initial action to investigate the situation and ensure public safety. This scenario assesses judgment and common sense in real-world police situations, where proactive, justified intervention is key. Question 11. If all traffic lights are red, and a vehicle is approaching an intersection, then the vehicle must stop. A vehicle is approaching an intersection, and all traffic lights are red. What is the necessary conclusion? A. The vehicle might slow down. B. The vehicle must stop. C. The vehicle can proceed with caution. D. The vehicle should wait for a green light. Answer: B. The vehicle must stop. This question is a classic example of deductive reasoning, where a specific conclusion is drawn from a general rule and a specific case that fits the rule. The general rule is, if all traffic lights are red, then the vehicle must stop. The specific case provided is, a vehicle is approaching an intersection, and all traffic lights are red. Therefore, the logical and necessary conclusion is that, the vehicle must stop. Question 12. Which of the following words is spelled incorrectly? A. Surveillance. B. Occurrence. C. Lieutenant. D. Procedure. Answer: B. Occurrence. The word occurrence is spelled incorrectly. It should have 2 C's and 2 R's. Mastery of spelling is vital for creating accurate and credible written reports, which serve as legal documents. Pay close attention to words with repeating letters or unusual letter combinations, as these are frequent sources of spelling errors. Question 13. A recent report indicated that 70% of pedestrian accidents in the city occurred at night, despite lower traffic volumes. These accidents disproportionately involved pedestrians wearing dark clothing and crossing outside of marked crosswalks. City officials are considering increased lighting and public awareness campaigns about pedestrian safety. What can be inferred about the primary causes of pedestrian accidents at night based on the report? A. Vehicle speed is the main factor in nighttime accidents. B. Poor visibility of pedestrians contributes significantly to nighttime accidents. C. Pedestrians are intentionally disregarding traffic laws at night. D. Most nighttime accidents happen on well-lit main roads. Answer: B. Poor visibility of pedestrians contributes significantly to nighttime accidents. The report explicitly states that accidents involved pedestrians wearing dark clothing and occurring outside of marked crosswalks, combined with the fact that 70% happened at night despite lower traffic, strongly implies that poor visibility is a major contributing factor. Making logical inferences based on presented facts, rather than assumptions, is a core skill for understanding complex information. Look for patterns and correlations within the data provided to support your inference. Question 14. An officer demonstrated impeccable conduct during the challenging traffic stop. In this sentence, what does impeccable mean? A. Flawed or imperfect. B. Beyond reproach, faultless. C. Arrogant or overconfident. D. Hesitant or indecisive. Answer: B. Beyond reproach, faultless. The word impeccable describes something that is perfect, faultless, or without blemish. In the context of an officer's conduct, it means their actions were exemplary and beyond criticism. This vocabulary skill is important because precise word choice helps convey specific meanings and nuances in reports and commendations, accurately reflecting observed behavior. Understanding positive descriptors like impeccable helps you grasp the full meaning of professional evaluations. Question 15. A police department noted that over the past year, 90% of vehicle thefts occurred in residential neighborhoods between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., and 85% of the stolen vehicles had unlocked doors. What general conclusion can be drawn from these observations? A. Vehicle thefts are primarily random occurrences. B. Vehicle owners are always negligent in securing their vehicles. C. Residential areas at night, particularly with unsecured vehicles, are common targets for theft. D. Criminals only target expensive vehicles in residential areas. Answer: C. Residential areas at night, particularly with unsecured vehicles, are common targets for theft. This question assesses inductive reasoning, where you draw a general conclusion from specific, repeated observations. The high percentages indicate a strong pattern. Thefts predominantly occur at night in residential areas and involve unlocked vehicles. This suggests a general vulnerability in these specific conditions. It's crucial to identify the most encompassing and logical generalization supported by the data without overstating or making assumptions not explicitly evidenced. Question 16. Choose the sentence that uses correct punctuation. A. The suspect who was apprehended, tried to flee. B. The suspect who was apprehended, tried to flee. C. The suspect who was apprehended tried to flee. D. The suspect who was apprehended tried to flee. Answer: B. The suspect who was apprehended tried to flee. The phrase, "who was apprehended," is a non-essential clause, meaning the sentence would still make sense without it. The suspect tried to flee. Non-essential clauses should be set off by commas on both sides. Correct punctuation is vital for clarity in written communication, especially in official reports, as it ensures proper emphasis and meaning. Remember that commas guide the reader through the sentence, making complex information easier to understand. Question 17. An officer arrives at a scene where a car has collided with a streetlight pole. There are no other vehicles involved, and the driver appears conscious but disoriented. What is the most immediate priority for the officer? A. Begin directing traffic around the scene. B. Contact a tow truck for the damaged vehicle. C. Assess the driver's condition and call for medical assistance if needed. D. Photograph the scene for evidence collection. Answer: C. Assess the driver's condition and call for medical assistance if needed. In any emergency situation, the immediate priority is always the safety and well-being of individuals involved, especially those who may be injured. The driver is conscious but disoriented, suggesting a potential medical issue that needs urgent attention. This scenario emphasizes the critical, aid the injured aspect of law enforcement response, which always takes precedence over property or investigatory concerns immediately after securing the scene. Question 18. If all police cadets must pass a physical fitness test, and Sarah is a police cadet, then Sarah A. May or may not pass the physical fitness test. B. Must pass the physical fitness test. C. Has already passed the physical fitness test. D. Is exempt from the physical fitness test. Answer: B. Must pass the physical fitness test. This is a classic deductive reasoning question. The first statement establishes a universal rule: all police cadets must pass a physical fitness test. The second statement applies that rule to a specific individual: Sarah is a police cadet. Therefore, the logical and inescapable conclusion is that Sarah must adhere to that rule, meaning she must pass the physical fitness test. Question 19. A new community outreach program aims to build stronger relationships between law enforcement and local residents by hosting monthly town hall meetings, offering youth mentorship programs, and increasing officer foot patrols in high-traffic pedestrian areas. The program hopes to foster mutual trust and reduce crime rates through proactive engagement. According to the passage, what is one method the new community outreach program uses to build stronger relationships? A. Reducing the number of police officers on duty. B. Focusing solely on prosecuting criminals. C. Increasing officer foot patrols. D. Limiting interaction with local residents. Answer: C. Increasing officer foot patrols. The passage directly states that the program aims to build stronger relationships by increasing officer foot patrols in high-traffic pedestrian areas, among other methods. This is a direct recall question from the passage, testing your ability to locate specific details within a given text. Always refer back to the text to confirm the information and avoid relying on outside knowledge. Question 20. The officer provided a succinct summary of the incident. In this context, succinct means A. Long and detailed. B. Clear and concise. C. Confusing and rambling. D. Emotional and biased. Answer: B. Clear and concise. Succinct means expressed clearly and briefly. An officer providing a succinct summary would be one that gets straight to the point without unnecessary words, which is highly valued in police reporting for efficiency and clarity. This vocabulary skill is important because precise word choice ensures that information is communicated effectively and efficiently, saving time and preventing misinterpretations in critical situations. Question 21. Observe the following pattern: circle, square, triangle, circle, square, triangle, circle, underscore underscore. A. Oval. B. Pentagon. C. Square. D. Rectangle. Answer: C. Square. This question tests inductive reasoning by asking you to identify and continue a repeating pattern. The sequence consists of three shapes that repeat in the same order: circle, square, triangle. Since the pattern just completed circle, the next shape in the sequence will be square. Recognizing visual or logical sequences is a common task in various aptitude tests. Question 22. Which of the following words is spelled incorrectly? A. Liaison. B. Seize. C. Achieve. D. Grateful. Answer: A. Liaison. The word liaison is spelled incorrectly. It should have an I before the liaison. Correct spelling is a foundational skill for all professional communication, particularly in law enforcement where written reports are crucial for legal proceedings and internal operations. Be mindful of words with less common letter combinations, as these often appear in spelling tests. Question 23. An officer is dispatched to a quiet residential street where a barking dog complaint has been made. Upon arrival, the officer hears continuous loud barking from a fenced backyard. There are no immediate signs of distress from the dog or other obvious emergencies. What is the most appropriate initial action? A. Immediately climb the fence to inspect the dog's welfare. B. Ignore the complaint as it's a minor issue. C. Attempt to make contact with the homeowner or resident to address the barking. D. Issue a citation without further investigation. Answer: C. Attempt to make contact with the homeowner or resident to address the barking. In non-emergency situations like a barking dog complaint, the most appropriate initial action is to attempt to resolve the issue through communication with the responsible party. Climbing the fence or issuing an immediate citation would be premature and potentially unnecessary given the lack of immediate distress or emergency. This scenario assesses judgment and problem-solving skills, emphasizing de-escalation and information gathering as primary steps. Question 24. A city ordinance states that no vehicle shall be parked within 15 feet of a fire hydrant. If a vehicle is found parked 10 feet from a fire hydrant, what is the consequence? A. The vehicle is legally parked. B. The vehicle is in violation of the ordinance. C. The vehicle might be in violation, depending on other factors. D. The ordinance does not apply to this specific vehicle. Answer: B. The vehicle is in violation of the ordinance. This question tests deductive reasoning by applying a specific rule to a given situation. The ordinance clearly states that parking within 15 feet of a fire hydrant is prohibited. Since the vehicle is parked 10 feet away, which is less than 15 feet, it directly violates the stated rule. Understanding and applying codified rules and regulations precisely is a critical skill for law enforcement officers. Question 25. An internal memorandum instructs all department personnel to review the updated policies regarding evidence handling procedures by the end of the month. It emphasizes the importance of strict adherence to these new guidelines to maintain the integrity of evidence and ensure successful prosecutions. What is the main purpose of this internal memorandum? A. To announce a new department hiring initiative. B. To inform personnel about updated evidence handling policies and stress their importance. C. To request feedback on current evidence handling procedures. D. To detail disciplinary actions for improper evidence handling. Answer: B. To inform personnel about updated evidence handling policies and stress their importance. The memorandum explicitly instructs personnel to review the updated policies regarding evidence handling procedures and emphasizes the importance of strict adherence. This directly indicates its main purpose is to disseminate new information and highlight its critical nature. This reading comprehension task requires you to identify the core message and intent of a written communication, a frequent necessity in police work.